Okay, who wants to get us underway?
Frank, nothing decision-wise went for you tonight, did it? VAR or the referee's decisions?
No, I mean, starting decisions, because decisions are, I suppose they are crucial. Obviously, Maguire should get a red, and then he scores the second goal. Game changes off that. I think that one is what VAR was, or a major part of what VAR was brought here for. Second viewing, different angles. Referee can't see all the angles, and if you're not going to look at the monitor, then you're definitely not going to see it as well. So that one was wrong. I think the Zuma goal as well should have stood. At first I didn't. It looked like a shove from Azpilicueta. You see it again, he gets shoved in the first place. So it's certainly not clear and obvious. To get the goal's given, then he gets a shove, then you go, okay, goal given. So, and Giroud was offside.
Frank, the Maguire incident is right in front of you, you jump up.
Yeah, it was actually behind me as it happened, to be fair.
But what did the referee say to you when you were appealing that?
Nothing. I didn't have a dialogue. Where I hadn't seen it, I had nothing clear to say. You just, when the VAR check happens, then you're just waiting and trusting the right decision. So I didn't have anything to say. Didn't have the clear view. I've seen it since, obviously.
It must be an obvious frustration then, having perhaps the majority of youngsters would say that is a red card, but yet you don't get the decision.
Yeah. don't know what.
How can you explain it?
It's just a wrong decision, isn't it? Which I suppose is harder to take with the presence of VAR than it would have been before, you know. And I think that's the reason it was brought in for. And you know, love it or hate it, you have to say that if something happens and they see it and then they make the right decision, it's very confusing to say the least when all the different angles still bring a wrong decision, which is universally a wrong decision. You know, it could be my opinion here, but I think everyone I've spoken to, not just in our dressing room, but neutrals have said the same.
Was it that? I mean, you conceded. Just can't stop conceding. I think it's 0-win 6 now. Are you concerned? It seems like an obvious thing.
Yeah, it's not. I don't like the word concern, because this game will concern you every time. On a run of 6 on the bounce, 7 on the bounce early in the season, I'm concerned about many factors. I don't like losing games. I don't like the way we're losing games, because we're losing games that we clearly, particularly at home, have had big share of possession, big chances in the game, lots of shots on goal, at goal, around goal, and we're not finishing them. And it's a reality that's getting clearer all the time. We're not getting enough goals from striker areas. Tammy had his period earlier in the season. Now we're not getting enough. We're not getting enough goals from wide areas. And that's a fact, and it's hard to win games. You can dominate them as much as you want, but this Premier League, not many teams can keep clean sheets week in, week out. You have to score goals to give you a feeling of superiority in the game, and we start a lot of games very well. I can hardly ever really look at the team and go, started slow, a bit sloppy today. There was a couple of games, but not that many. We start pretty well, but if you don't score, you leave teams in the game. And today, obviously, we made a couple of silly moments in terms of allowing them headers in our box, particularly the set piece, that obviously changed the result.
Frank, you mentioned all this after, I think it was Lille game in the Champions League. You said you needed quality. Have you got any regrets about, for example, not getting Dries Mertens?
I honestly don't want to talk about the window, because it affects nothing now. I think, as I said just before, the reality is in what we're seeing, and sometimes when you watch it every week, and I do, and I watch, and we go over the games again, and we look at the stats, it's very clear we make a lot of chances, as much as anyone in the league, probably barring Liverpool. I know that, and we're not finishing them. So I don't want to talk about regrets. The window is shut. Now we have what's in front of us, which means we're in fourth place by a point. Season starts here, so that affects that we need to try and get fourth place.
Is there a bit of a confidence issue with Nishi, do you think? Is that the problem with him, is lack of confidence?
Maybe, but confidence is part of football, and the only way I ever felt that you get overconfidence is by hard work, absolute dedication and hard work. Every player will go through it, no matter who you are, no matter what in your career, you will have varying levels of confidence. I thought the only way for me was hard work, and that goes for any player.
Frank, Kante picked up an injury in the first half. What is it? And
it's an adductor injury, so we'll have to assess it, scan it, but doesn't look great. doesn't look great at the minute.
Is it related to his other injury?
I don't know that yet for sure. I wouldn't want to give you that information. I know it's the same leg, so it's similar.
Hang on, over there on the right.
Against United, do you wonder how on earth you haven't won any?
No, because football is what it is, and if they're going to score goals and we have those moments, we can't be naive to that. But when you look at the reality of it, that we've scored 1 goal in those 3 games, 60 minutes at Old Trafford, the better team. At home here, clearly the better team, and today again the better team. But I don't want to sound like I'm naive, but it's football. You lose games if you're not going to score goals, and you have moments where you give them a chance. To be fair to Manchester United, I think they're a fantastic counter-attacking team. Didn't give us loads of problems on the counter-attack today. Not loads of problems. A couple of small ones that you expect from a team of their level, but you give them 2 headers. So that's something that we can't do. That's just. That's a moment for players. We work on set pieces, but you can't run in the box and jump. We have to jump and head the ball away.
Okay, we're going to do 2 more, and then we're going to finish at the front here, and then over there to end. Gentlemen.
Of course, you and Ole are comparable managers due to your background. You met him 3 times now, lost every time. Even though the difference hasn't been big between the teams, does he set up his teams well against types of teams like Chelsea or better teams?
I don't know, but what I do know is that we've come up against quite a few teams who come here to Stamford Bridge and play 5 at the back, 2 deep blocks and counter-attack against us, and we've had problems with that. There's clearly that, because we do create a lot of chances, but when teams have a lot of bodies defending in the box, you have to be extra clinical, extra sharp about getting your shots away and getting them on target, and that's something we've had a problem with generally.
Okay, last question, Darren, then we've got to go.
Obviously with the Man City, does that give you, does it maybe make it not so worrying? You know, because obviously there could potentially be now 5th place open.
It's potential though. I don't think any when there's a question mark over an appeal, etc. Then for me, I don't think we can get ourselves caught up in what may be in those terms. All we can do is say we're 4th, which means it's in our hands, and we want to have that 4th space, or look up above us and see if we can close the gap above us, and that's just a game-by-game situation. Now the gap's closed, but I don't think many people expect us to be 4th at this stage of the season. So the fight starts now, and we can't affect the Man City situation much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.